Hey guys, this is God of Politics. Welcome back to a brand new video, but before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also join the Discord that is linked down in the description. But in today's video, I'm going to be answering the question, is there a pathway to the House majority for the Republican Party? Now, as you guys all probably know, in 2018, the Democrats flipped the U.S. House of Representatives by winning 40-something seats, and now they have, a pretty big majority. They have 230-something seats, 231, I believe, and it's looking very, very difficult for the Republicans to be able to win back the House. They had, the House for quite a long time. They had it for 8 straight years. They finally lost it in 2018. There was a lot of talk saying that they could get it back after the impeachment happened, but now it's looking, like their chances are pretty grim, especially with Biden's lead. And, earlier there were talks about Bernie being the nominee, hurting down ballot Democrats running in more moderate areas in Republican districts. There is less of that worry now with Joe Biden as the nominee, but that's what I'm going to be answering in this video. How generous do you have to be to Republicans to actually get them to a majority in the U.S. House of Representatives? So I'm just going through each of these seats, seeing, what would Republicans have to win in order for them to actually win back the House majority. And to start off, it starts off with a really difficult one, and that is TJ Cox. If we actually add the tilt to this, if we put TJ Cox's seat at tilt Republican, it's going to be very difficult because this is a district that, Hillary Clinton won by 15 points, but TJ Cox only won by half a point, and he is facing the same challenger as last time, I believe, and it's going to be quite difficult for him to win. And, in a scenario where Republicans are doing quite well, they're going to have to end up winning this seat. They're going to also have to win California's 25th district, which is what Mike Garcia won in the special election, and this is a suburban district that's trending towards the Democrats. But if Mike Garcia can, do better amongst some Latinos, and if there's lower turnout in those, young people areas, amongst Latinos, he could possibly win as well. Another seat that the Republicans could possibly win, is going to be very difficult to win this seat, is Georgia's 6th district with Lucy McBath. This is a district that Donald Trump only won by 1.5 points, and Joe Biden's almost certainly going to be able to win this district due to the trends that we're seeing in Georgia. But Lucy McBath only won by 1%, and it is a district that went to Trump. So if you're, on the mindset the Republicans are going to get the Senate majority, this is one of the seats that they have to win. Along with Georgia's 7th district, this is a district that, Democrats are doing very well in right now, but Republicans still do have an opportunity to win this. It is a district that Donald Trump won by 6.3 percentage points. Donald Trump probably will win it again, although it will be quite close. But the Republicans still have an ability to win this seat, and I think that if I had to put a rating at it, normally I'd probably still put it to Republican either way. For the 3 Iowa districts, 3 out of the 4 districts are competitive. This is a good map for Democrats, but it is looking like currently it is good for Democrats, but if Republicans want to win the House, they're going to have to flip all of these seats. It was looking at first like the open seat would be their best opportunity at winning one of these Iowa seats, but the Democratic candidate in the Iowa 2nd district is quite good. They're doing very well in fundraising. They're a good candidate, but it is a district that went to Donald Trump by 4.1 percentage points, along with these Iowa districts that went to Obama in 2008 and 2012, but are now, more Republican districts and will probably continue to be Republican districts. But if Republicans want to win back the House, they're going to have to win these districts, and I believe it's something they can possibly do, but it's going to be quite difficult there. If we want to go to the next seat, they're going to have to win Rodney Davis's seat, which shouldn't be too hard. I believe this is a suburban district, in suburban Chicago, which is trending more to the Democratic column, but it is the district Trump won by 5 points, and he is, a Republican that's been there for quite a while, since 2012. The next seat that is going to be quite difficult for Republicans to win, but they can possibly do it, is Lauren Underwood's seat in Illinois' 14th district. This is another suburban Chicago seat, and while it did go to Donald Trump by 4 percentage points, probably would have gone to Obama partially because he was from Illinois, but Lauren Underwood did win by 5%, so it is going to be difficult to flip this seat. But if Republicans want to win the House, they're going to have to flip this seat. I don't know too much about the candidate there, but it is possible to be able to flip, and they're going to have to. Maine's 2nd is a district that I do believe will flip, in a best case or worst case scenario. For Republicans, I do believe that it's going to be very difficult for Jared Golden to win. He voted for one of the articles of impeachment, which matters more, in a district that went to Donald Trump by 10 percentage points. And Jared Golden, he only won by 1 percentage point, which is because of the ranked choice voting, and it is going to be quite difficult for him to win again. And I do believe, especially in this scenario, that he'd lose by quite a bit. I also believe Colin Peterson would lose in Minnesota's 7th district. In Minnesota's 7th district, you have, Colin Peterson, who is a legacy Dem in an area with many legacy Dems. When he was first elected, this is a more Democratic area. Now he's in an area that went to Donald Trump by 30 points. And while he did vote against impeachment and he won by 4 points in 2018, that was a year where Republican candidate didn't have much fundraising at all. This year, he's being outraised by the Republican, and the district is not too friendly to him. It's a much more polarized environment. I believe that even if I had to predict this normally, I'd now put that at a tilt Republican, and right now I'll put it at lean Republican, but it is a district Republicans are also going to have to win. They will end up losing these 2 seats in North Carolina, which is going to be flips to the Democratic column, regardless of what happens, basically, due to redistricting. These are districts that Democrats have won by 24 percentage points, so it's going to be quite difficult for Republicans to actually win that district, and it's basically impossible. They could possibly win Chris Pappas' seat. I'm going to put in the tilt Republican column. It's going to be very difficult to do, but, New Hampshire is a state that Donald Trump could potentially win if he's having a very good night. And, Chris Pappas is, he won by almost 9 percentage points in a year that Democrats do very well overall. If Republicans can run a good candidate, if they can get some good fundraising, if Trump can hold some rallies, this seat could possibly flip. And while I think it's unlikely overall, it could possibly happen. Same thing with Andy Kim's seat. This is a district that people thought was easily going to flip to the Republicans at some point, or at one point a couple months ago, but the Republican candidate is really not very good, and their fundraising is not good at all. And overall, it's looking like Andy Kim is going to win, but it is a seat Republicans need to win. So if they can capitalize on the fact that it is quite a heavy Trump district, I believe they can possibly win that district. New Mexico's 2nd district, I also believe, is going to flip. I believe this is going to flip regardless. It has been looking before. It's been on the up for Democrats in terms of doing well here, but if they're going to, if Republicans are going to want to win the House, they're definitely going to win this. Otherwise, they have absolutely zero chance at all. This is a district Trump won by 10 percentage points in New Mexico. He'll probably win it by less, but the Republicans should still be able to win there. Max Rose, I also believe, will lose the seat by a lean margin. You have kind of a rhino, as what people say, Nicole Malliotakis running in this district. This is a district where it is the Staten Island area of New York that is quite Republican, but it also is quite suburban. But Donald Trump did win by almost 10 percentage points, so it's going to be quite difficult for Max Rose to actually win normally, although he did win by 6% in 2018. But I do believe that the Republican will win there. Same thing with Anthony Brindisi. This is kind of a fluke, you could say, due to the fact that Donald Trump won this district by so much, and Anthony Brindisi actually won, but I do believe Republicans will flip that, along with Kendra Horn's seat as well. This is kind of a fluke, too. A district Trump won by so much that, it's going to be very hard for the Democrat to win this time. Same thing with Scott Perry's seat. This should not be too difficult for them to be able to win, even though it is in Pennsylvania, which will probably go to Donald Trump by a bit less than it did last time. Also, Joe Cunningham, this is another fluke, went to Donald Trump by 13 percentage points. I don't believe Joe Cunningham has much chance at all. And then we come down here to the 3 Texas districts. Texas's 22nd district is actually looking better for the Democrats after the primary yesterday, which showed that the self-funded candidate with $7 million of fundraising actually lost to the candidate with not much fundraising, which looks better for Democrats overall. But the Republicans should still be able to win that, along with Will Hurd's seat, which he's now retiring. But Texas is 23rd. We haven't actually had a decided primary. There's a 7-vote difference in the runoff for the Republican Party, but they're going to have to win this district, although it is a trending district. That'll probably go to, Joe Biden by like 6-7 points, but it is an open seat, so Republicans do have a better opportunity to win this district. I do believe it's going to be very narrow in this scenario, but Republicans wouldn't be able to narrowly pull it off. Same thing with Kenny Merchant's seat. This is a district where the Democrats just nominated a very progressive candidate, which we've seen in 2018 did not do very well in those battleground districts. So I don't believe, the Democrats are going to be able to win. I do believe the Republican candidate will win in that district. Colin Allred, I do believe, will keep his seat in it, but even in, a scenario where Republicans take back the House. Ben McAdams, I do believe, though, will lose his seat to Burgess Owens, who is not the best in terms of fundraising and, name recognition, things like that. and is very establishmentarian, but Ben McAdams is in a district Trump won by 7 points. Even with Evan McMullen, Donald Trump could win this district by 10 points, something like that. So it's going to be very hard for Ben McAdams to win, and I do believe that he would end up losing. Elaine Luria, I'm going to narrowly give for the seat in this scenario because Republicans don't necessarily need it, because again, this district went to Trump by 3.4 percentage points, but Joe Biden is going to do very well in Virginia. Everybody's projecting, and it's looking like this district's going to go to Biden, so it's going to be very hard to defeat Elaine Luria as an incumbent in a district that's turning towards the Democratic column. That's why, none of the Arizona seats are flipping. Very few, none of the Texas seats are flipping. None of the Georgia, one of the Georgia seat is flipping. So that's part of the reason why Elaine Luria will keep his seat as well. But Abigail Spanberry, I do believe, is going to lose her seat. The candidate for the Republican side is quite good. They're doing all right in fundraising. And it is a seat that I believe Republicans should be able to flip on their own. And looking at the overall map here, we can see that the Democrats have a 1-seat majority. So, I guess you would have to give them that seat from Elaine Luria. And if you do that, the Republicans then have a bare 1-seat majority in the U.S. House after flipping all of those seats, 20-something seats. It's still very difficult for Republicans to do the House. It's going to be very difficult. I have to keep saying it because it's very true. Republicans can do it. It's easier to, say from based on polling data, based on trends, that Republicans won't do it. But there is a possibility Republicans can do it. I think it is highly, highly, highly unlikely. But this is the scenario that would get them to those 218, that magic number that they need. That's the scenario. Those are the seats that they would have to win. Do I think it's likely? No, it's very, very unlikely. 5%, 10% chance at best. The impeachment doesn't even seem to matter that much anymore. But overall, Republicans, if they want to win back the House, they're going to have to flip those seats just to get a bare 1-seat majority, which could not even last very long in some scenarios. Congressmen leave, things like that. But yeah, those are the seats that would have to flip. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also join the Discord that is linked down in the description. So again, thank you all for watching, guys, and I will see you guys later.